In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the VideoFX Photoshop actions. So these are the Photoshop actions for creating video effects. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use these videos here for a demonstration of the actions. And there are 5 premium advanced Photoshop actions included. The cartoon, pencil sketch, Cyberpunk, Grandiouse 3, and TechnicalArt actions that are also available as a photo effect actions and are included with this product. And there are also over 40 additional Photoshop actions for adjusting the tone, color, look, adding sharpening, and other to the videos. So there are over 45 Photoshop actions in total included. So I'm going to use this video here, and I'm going to create this effect. Then I'm going to use this video. And create this effect here. All right, so these 2 effects are created with these additional actions. And now we got these premium actions. So from this video, I'm going to create the cartoon effect using the cartoon action. All right, so then I'm going to use this video here. And I'm going to apply the pencil sketch action. From this video, I'm going to create this effect, the Cyberpunk. Then I'm going to use this video here. And I'm going to apply the Grandiose 3 Photoshop action. And then I'm going to use this video here. And I'm going to apply the TechnicalArt Photoshop action. All right. So the results that you get are fully layered, the same as when you use the UnicDesign photo effect action. So there's a lot of options for customizing the result that you get. And the rendering is also optimized to work fast and delivering the highest quality video. And also the video will be of very small size. So the rendering usually takes around a minute for a full HD video with the basic effects, and the more advanced premium effects for a full HD video will take around somewhere between 15 to 30 minutes usually for a 10 seconds long video. All right, so let me just close these windows now. All right, so how to load the actions is just go to Window, Actions, click on the menu icon over here, Load Actions, and just open the folder and select the action file select folder, choose Load, and the VideoFX folder will appear here. So when you open the folder and find all the actions. All right, and you should also load the pattern file. So you can choose the pattern stamp tool from here, click on this arrow here, the gear icon, load pattern, and just select the VideoFX patterns file from the folder to load the pattern for one of the actions. And all you have to do now is just select the import video action and just click play. And the action will ask you to select the video. So you select the video and just choose open. All right, so the action will import the video here. And now what you can do is you can start using the actions. Let's just first quickly go through all the actions. So the first actions we got here are the tone actions. So you can use these actions to adjust the tone of the video. Then we got the black and white base effect here. So this is just a base black and white effect, and you can combine it with other actions to create more advanced black and white effects. And then we got the color look actions. So you can select any of these color looks, just run the action and see how it looks. If you don't like it, simply run another action. And what you can also do is you can run this action here, the all color looks. So this action is going to create all these color looks if it's easier for you to find which color look works best with your photo in that way. And then we got the sharpening actions, got the light, medium, and heavy sharpening actions. And then we got the premium actions, the cartoon, Grandiose3, Cyberpunk, pencil sketch, and TechnicalArt actions. And last, we got the two rendering actions. You can render the video as the video, or you can render it as a GIF animation. All right, so how this action works is you simply select the action, you click play, right? So as I mentioned, the results you get are fully layered, so you can make any changes to the result that you get. So what we got here is the tone layer. So what you can do, you can double click on this layer thumbnail. You can make any adjustments here if you like. And the next we got here is the contrast. So to adjust the contrast, you just change the opacity of the layer. And all layers that you customize by changing the opacity, you can change the opacity either by clicking on the word opacity and dragging it aside, or you can click on this arrow here and then just move this slider left or right. All right. And last, we got the brightness layers. You can double click here and you can use these 5 sliders here to further adjust the brightness. So you can use this one here to boost the shadows, this one here to boost the highlights. You can boost or fade the midtones. You can fade the shadows and you can fade the highlights. All right. And what you can also do is you can just change the opacity of the complete folder. So for example, on this action, you can then just change the opacity of this folder to just its look. All right. And the next we got here is the tone boost low actions. So just gonna play. And you can see this action is going to boost the shadows and highlights of your photo. You got the same layers here with different settings. You can customize in the same way as I can demonstrate for the tone fade action. You can again change the opacity here. Then we got the boost high tone action. So this action is also going to boost the midtones and going to brighten the photo. So it's going to boost both shadows, highlights, and midtones. Right? And then we got the tone light action. And we got the tone dark action. All right? So in this example, I'm going to use this action here. So I'm going to click play. And what I'm going to do now is just going to adjust the opacity. All right, just like that. And then I'm just going to use some of the color actions. So as I mentioned, you can select any of these actions, click play. All right, see how it looks. If you don't like it, simply delete this color look and try with another. You can choose from 30 color looks actions here. And what you can also do is you can run this action here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run the color looks all action. All right, so this action here has created all these color looks. So what you can do now is you can just simply turn them on and off and find one that you like the most. So in this example, I'm going to use color look over here. And what you can also do is you can combine a few color looks. And how to do that is to, for example, turn on this color look. You can adjust its opacity. I'm going to leave it default. And then you can just turn another color look and you can change the second color look opacity as well if you like. Okay. I'm going to keep it this way. And lastly, I'm going to use some of the sharpening actions. So I'm going to use the light sharpening. Just click play. All right. And now how can you adjust the sharpening? You can change the opacity here. All right. And I can run the other actions so you can see how they work. So you got the medium sharpening. This action is going to reveal larger details, as you can see. And you got a hair sharpening, which is going to sharpen the larger details and increase the clarity of the photo. All right, so in this example, I'm going to use the light sharpening action only. All right, so that's it. And all you have to do now is to just render the video. But before that, what you can check is just to make sure that all the layers here have the length of the video, right? So you can set the length of the video however you like, right? Just make sure that all the layers have the duration up to this end point. So how can you check that? You can just open the folders if needed and just make sure that all layers that you use here have these duration as the video. All right. So I'm just gonna close it like this. All right. So let's just quickly check the before and after. So I'm just gonna hide these layers. So this is the before. And this is the after. All right. So to render the action, you can render as a video or the animation. So select the action, click play, and here you can make any settings that you like. So you got a quality here, and here you can choose the size of the rendered file. So I'm just going to keep it as a document size, as the original video, and the frame rate also going to keep it as a document frame rate. And here you can choose which frames you wish to render. So you can use the all frames, or you can set exact start and end frames to determine the range of the video that you wish to render, right? And I already rendered the video before, so I'm just gonna close this window, and I'm going to show you all the rendered results later. So just gonna close this window, and what I'm going to do now, I'm just gonna start with the second video. So just gonna run the import action again, and I'm gonna select this video here. All right. So with this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the black and white base action. All right. And then I'm going to use the tone boost high action. Just going to play. I'm going to keep the default opacity. And now I'm going to use the sharpening actions. So I'm going to use the medium sharpening first. All right. I'm just going to adjust the opacity of this layer. And now I'm going to use the light sharpening. And I'm going to use default opacity. All right, so you can see how you can quickly create amazing video effects with the action. So I'm just going to check the before video and the after. All right, so we have with this HDR effect. All I have to do now is to just render the video. If you wish to render the video as the animation, just run this action here. All right, and from here you can just choose the GIF format. It will need some time to render the video here. The video is going to render much faster when you render it as a video than as an animation. So it might be better to render the video always as the video and then convert that video format to the animation, or you can just use the animation format right away if that works better for you. All right. And what you can do, you can switch to different options here to see which one works best with your video. All right. And here you can change the image size of the animation. So you're not changing the actual file size here, just of the output of the animation that you render. And you want to make sure that you check here the looping options. You just set these to forever if you wish that the animation is just keep repeating, and just to save. All right. So now I'm just going to proceed with the next video. All right, so I'm just going to select the import video action and click play again. And I'm going to select the next video. All right. So with this video, I'm going to use the cartoon, the advanced action here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to run the action, and I'm going to fasten the video here and get back when the action is finished. And then I'm going to go throughout all the layers to show you how can you customize the result that you get. All right, so the action here just finished. So I'm just going to expand a little bit this layers panel. And the first thing you probably want to do each time you run any of these advanced actions is to just quickly close down all these folders. So how can you quickly do that? You just hold Control and Alt buttons for PC or Command Option for Mac. And while the main folder is selected, just click on the little arrow here. And this way you're going to close down all the folders. So just going to close down the edge panel for now. And So as I mentioned, the results you get are fully layered, so you can make any changes here, and with these advanced action you can actually make any changes to the all filters that are used. So you can edit each layer and also filter individually. So the first we got here is the base effect layer, right? And if you wish to edit any of these filters, all you have to do is just double click on the filter, and you will get here to make any changes to the selected filter. All right, and if you select any of these filters down here, for example this one, and all the filters above the filter you double click will be temporarily just disabled, so you can better adjust the filter that you selected. All right, so if you use this filter here, all these filter above are going to be disabled, as you can see. So you can then make any changes to the selected filter and see how they affect the design. So you can go throughout each of these filters, see how each of these affect the look of the video, and then just adjust the effect accordingly. So I'm just going to keep all default with this layer, and it's the same with the next layer we got here, the outlines. All right, so you can double click and make any changes to any of the filter. All right, and I'm just going to keep it default. And as you can see, you have a layer mask over here. So if you wish to remove any of the outlines here anywhere in the video, you can just pick a brush tool, pick a soft brush, set from ground color to black, and simply brush or the outlines that you wish to remove. Just keep in mind that if the subject moves during the video, you'll have to consider that when brushing into this layer mask. All right, so now what we got here are the color looks. So this actually has its own color looks, and there are 40 preset color looks that you can choose from. All right, so with this example, I'm going to use color look over here. And again, I'm just gonna combine a few color looks. So I'm just gonna adjust the opacity like this. And I'm going to use this one here. I'm gonna keep this one at default. Next we got here is the overlay contrast. So how to adjust the contrast, you just change the opacity. Right? We got the overlay brightness layer, so just gonna double click here. And I've already shown you how to customize these layers with the when I was customizing the tone actions. So this one here is boosting the shadows, this one here is boosting the highlights, this one here is boosting or fading the midtones, this one here is fading the shadows, this one here is fading the highlights. Right? So by default you can see that the shadows are faded, so just gonna does it like this. I'm gonna keep other as default. And the last we got here is the overall vibrance and saturation. So you double click here, and using these two sliders you can adjust the vibrance and saturation of the video. So I'm just gonna increase it a little bit. Right, just like that. And with these more advanced actions, you cannot that easily just go through these timeline over here. So what you can do is you can just click on specific parts of the timeline to see how the effect looks and if you need to make any adjustments. All right. So now the video is also ready for rendering. Before that, what I already mentioned is just what you need to make sure is that all the layers have the duration as the same as the video here, because some layers are going to shorter than the actual length of the video. That's usually the case with these color fill layers you can see. So for example, if you use this color look over here, these two layers are only visible up to this point, and then they're not. In that case, you just expand these layers duration to the end of the video that you can set wherever you like. All right. Now I'm not using this color look, so in this case that's not important, but you need to make sure that all layers that you're using that are visible are actually have this duration as the video. All right. So that's it. Now I can close the window and just import the next video. So now I'm going to use this video here, and I'm going to run the pencil sketch action. All right. So just gonna run the action, and I'm going to fasten the video here again, and I'm going to get back when the action is finished. All right. So again, just gonna close all the layers and gonna close these actions panel for now. All right, so what we got here is the background color layer. So what you can do is you can just double click here and you can choose any color that you like. All right. And next we got are these textures, which are more visible. I'm just gonna set these colors to darker so you can better see the texture. So we got the noise texture, and we got these the paper texture. All right. So you can adjust the opacity of these textures if you like. I'm just going to keep it default. And the next we got here are the shading layers. All right. So how you customize these layers, you just change their opacity. So with these layers, you can achieve a lot of different pencil sketch looks just by hiding some of the layers and changing their opacities. Right, so here we got the basic sketch. Just gonna leave it default. Next we got is the smooth sketch. So just gonna drop down this layer opacity. Next we got is the outline sketch. I'm gonna just turn off this layer in this example. And the next we got is the reveal details layer. So just change the opacity of this layer. You can really reveal a lot of details in your photo and get that 3D sketch look. So I'm just gonna adjust it like this. And the next we got here is the colorized sketch layer. So if you turn it on, you'll get this colored pencil look. And then what you can do is you can use these layers above to make only specific colors in the video visible. So for example, you can use only reds only, yellows only, you got a greens only, cyans only, blues only, and magentas only. All right. This is more visible with the very colorful videos. And the next we got here is the overall contrast. So how adjust the contrast? You just change the opacity here. Just gonna add a little bit of contrast, and this example I'm just gonna use the black and white sketch effect. All right, so next we got the overall brightness. Okay, and the overall saturation. So this layer doesn't have any effect, as the effect is black and white, but if you use any colors here, then you can increase or decrease the saturation of the colors. All right. So that's it. And so again, you can just click like this to see how it looks through the whole video. And what you can see here is that this layer does need to be expanded. if you want them to last as long as the video. And with the folders, you have to select the layers inside. So you open the folder and you select the layers inside. Just gonna do it like this. Okay, and that's it. The video is ready for rendering. Okay, so I'm just gonna open the next video. So I'm just gonna select the next video, and that's this one here. Just open. Right, so with this video, I'm going to use the Cyberpunk Action. So just gonna select the Cyberpunk Action here and click play. All right, so just gonna close all the folders here, and just gonna close the actions panel as well. So here's the effect. So the Cyberpunk is also advanced effect, so you can't move really smooth here through the timeline, right? But you can also click on specific areas, and what you can also do is you can lower the resolution here of the preview, and that can speed up this preview a little bit, right? So what we got here is the base adjustments. So I'm just gonna double click here, and what you can do is you can adjust the shadows and the highlights. All right? And you can also adjust the reduce noise filter here. So you can make any changes here. You can adjust the strength on the reduce noise filter. You can choose how many details you wish to preserve, and you can reduce the color noise, you can sharpen the details. I'm just gonna keep this default. The next we got here is the photo tint. So what you can do is double click here, and you can just change the density here. You see how I changed the look of the video. All right, so I'm just gonna increase this a little bit. And what you can also do is you can change the opacity of this filter here. Right? It's already set to 100. You wish to increase it more, you just increase the density here. Right? So the next we got is the increase exposure. So you double click here, and you just move the slider left to right to adjust the exposure of the effect. All right. And here we got the low contrast. It's going to lower the contrast a little bit. This one here is going to boost the shadows and highlights. We have these layers together. They're not making much of a difference, but what you can do is you can, for example, turn off this layer and lower the contrast, or you can turn off this layer to boost the contrast, right? You can also play with the opacities here for a different look. And next we got here is the coral look layer. So what you can do is you can make any changes here if you like. So you can edit the individual colors. You can change their hue, saturation, and lightness. All right. And you can also change here the shadows, highlights, and midtones if you wish to make some more advanced and finer adjustments. All right. So here we got the overall contrast. Just going to boost the contrast a little bit. And here we got the overall vibrance and saturation. So just going to double click here. And I'm going to boost the vibrance and the saturation a little bit. Just like that. Just going to zoom the video so you can see the details. All right, and we got the overall brightness. So just going to double click here. And just going to adjust this layer like this. Here we got a harsh sharpening. So just change the opacity of this layer. And here we got a fine sharpening. So as you can see, the fine sharpening is going to reveal all these small details in the video, while the harsh sharpening is going to increase the clarity and sharpen the larger details in the video. Right, so next we got is the boost highlights layer. So just going to just like this. And here we got the add vignette layer, so just gonna turn it off in this example. And I'm not using these layers, so I don't have to expand it. All right. Okay, so the video is ready for the rendering. Let's just quickly see the before and after. So this is the before, this is the after. All right. And I'm just going to open the next example here. Video right here. So I'm just going to click open. And with this video, I'm going to use the Grinders3 Photoshop action. So I'm just going to select the action, click play. Again, I'm going to fasten the video. I get back when the action is finished. All right. So just going to close all the folders. And what we got here is the base effect. I've got all the filters here, so you can edit any of these filters, make any adjustments that you like. And I'm just gonna adjust this filter over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna drop down the shadows amount like this. All right, gonna leave others as default. And here we got the edges. Right, I'm gonna keep them default as well. The next we got is the photo tint, so you can here choose any filter that you like, and you can just adjust the density of the filter. I'm just gonna keep it default. And the next we got is the color looks. All right, so in this example I'm gonna use this one here. Just gonna drop down its opacity a little bit, and I'm going to use this one here. Again, I'm going to adjust its opacity. Just like that. All right. And the next we got is the overall contrast. So just going to increase a little bit. Here we got the vibrance and saturation. So I'm just going to boost the saturation. And lastly, we got the overall brightness layer. So I'm just going to fade the shadows a little bit more, just like that. All right, so the video is ready for the rendering. And if any details appear here around the video, what you can do is you can just crop the video using the crop tool, right? Or you can just go to the image, canvas size, and you can just lower the width and height of the whole canvas for like 20 pixels, which is okay. All right, and you get these clean edges, all right? So I'm just gonna close the video. All right, so I'm just gonna select the import video action and run it again. And I'm going to use the last example, this video over here. All right, so with this video, I'm going to use the TechnicalArt action. And this one works a little bit different than the others. So you can just run the action. What you got to do is just go to Layer, New, and choose a layer to create a new layer, and you name it Brush. It's very important that you spell this correctly because otherwise the action won't work, which is okay. And when you have the brush layer selected, you just pick the brush tool. You can just hit B on your keyboard. Select the soft brush. Choose any color here, coral pick doesn't matter, and simply brush over your photo, over the areas that you wish to be painted. So the whole video will be turned into a sketch, and the area that you have brushed will turn into a painting. All right, so I'm just gonna open up my PSD file because I've already done the brushing before. All right, so here it is. Okay, and also what you consider when you're using this action is that if your subject is moving and you wish the subject is painted, you got to brush so that when your subject moves, the brush layer covers your subject still. All right. So as you can see, although the camera and subject are moving, the subject is covered with the brush layer. All right. So you need to brush that way. So you can always just go through the timeline here and just make sure that the subject or the area that you want to be painted is just brushed through all the video. Right? And all you have to do now is just select the action, click play. So I'm going to fasten the video here again and get back when the action is finished. All right, so the action has just finished. So I'm just going to close all the folders. And what we got here is the background color layer. So you can double click here. You can choose any color for the background. All right, you're gonna keep it default. And next we got here is the main sketch. All the layers are smart objects and have the smart filters. So you can always double click on the filter and make any changes if you like. And that's the case with all the actions that are using the filters. So you can literally make any changes to the result that you get. And here we got the shading. All right. And the next we got here is the painting. So the painting area is created using the brush layer here. So with the brush layer, you are choosing determining the which area of the video will be painted. All right. So what you can do here is you can change the opacity of this layer. And what you can also do is if you wish to add in additional areas to the paint, you can brush into this layer mask here. Or what you can also do is you can also make adjustments to the filters here. And you can just double click on this layer here. So what you can do here is you can move these left part of the highlight slider, and you can see that with this slider you can expand or contract the range where the highlights are visible. All right. So I'm just gonna say it like this, and choose OK. And if it happens that some area are not painted and you don't want to increase these highlights range because you're going to get strong highlights, what you can do is you can use this layer here. The real original video says here brush white tone mask. You select these layer mask here, you choose the brush tool, you pick a soft brush, set foreground color to white, and you simply brush wherever you wish to reveal the original video. It also has these filters, so you also have the painting effect. If you just turn on this layer mask, you'll see that you have the complete video visible here with these filters applied. So what you're going to do is just adjust the opacity of this layer. Just like that. And I'm going to drop down the opacity a little bit of this layer here. All right, just like this. And the next we got here are the textures. So we got the half tone texture, we got the canvas texture, we got these two here, and we got the add noise texture. You can change the opacity of any of these layers, and we got a grid texture. So I'm usually using this texture when I'm not using the painting effect. For that, the pencil sketch look, so you can just hide the painting layers, right? Or you can use the texture with the painting as well. I'm not going to use it in this example here. And here we got the color looks, so I'm going to use this one here. And I'm going to use this color look over here. So just gonna adjust their opacities, right, just like that. And here we got a photo tint. So you can choose different filters, you can use color if you like. And I'm not going to use these layer in this example. And the next we got is the contrast. So just gonna put the contrast a little bit. And here we got the vibrance and saturation. So double click on this layer thumbnail. And just gonna increase both vibrance and saturation. All right. And last we got the overall brightness. So just gonna keep this layer default. All right. So you can see the before and after. Right, so now I'm just going to show you the rendered videos, how they look. All right, so here is the first video that we created. All right. Here is the next one. And the last video. All right. So I hope you understood everything, but if you still need any help or you got any questions, feel free to contact me anytime via my Envato profile page. Thanks for watching.